So obviously, as you can see by the title, I think it's just been long. It's been a long time coming. Like, I ain't really had like just a one-on-one with everybody, and you guys tune into my lives. You guys tune in to see like just me and Kayla. But I think sitting down and actually talking to you guys about things and it being like serious and not being like entertainment, but more of like a real one-on-one type of thing. And I think that's what's kind of been missing from me on this channel. And Kayla and I, every day we're trying to figure out what can we do to bring our audience closer to us, to know us better. And I think the engagement video, it was really deep because you guys were able to see just me and hear my thoughts on asking Kayla to marry me, stuff like that. But I thought this time it'd just be cool to just talk to you guys about how my life was before I met Kayla, a little bit before I met Kayla, and what's made me into the man I am today. Now this video is for the people who everybody has a story, but this video is for the people who are just they have like a testimony, like they came from something and they're at a better place than they were yesterday. So that's the reason why I'm doing this video today, because I wanted to tell you guys my story and the truth about just about me. My name is Justus. You guys know me by J Dior as well. You know me by J, but it's Justus, Justus. Now a lot of people spell my name wrong, but it's okay because I can't really do too much about it. But if anybody is wondering why I spell my name that way, I guess my parents said my name is from the Bible, but I don't know where, but it is from the Bible. And Justus, it has its meanings. I don't know one off the top of my head, but it means something. And I actually have two middle names. I have one that I don't really talk about middle names because my middle names are hella long, and yeah, they're different. But my middle names are Roosevelt Carl Tucker, Justus Roosevelt Carl Tucker, and I like them because at the end of the day, it's like it's dope. Like my middle name, my first name is like hella dope, and my middle names are like on some presidential shit. So yeah, so it's Justus Roosevelt Carl Tucker. I was born March 4th. I guess I'm a Pisces, 1996, so I'm 24. And basically, I was born in Pasadena. I'm from Pasadena, California. That's where I blew up. No, that's where I grew up. And man, so growing up was dope because my family was very involved in church. Like my dad, he came from Oklahoma and he came over to California. And then my mom, my dad had started a church, like his family started a church out here. And then my mom was going to that church because it was like up the street from her house or whatever, like close or whatever. And then that's how my parents met. Mind you, my mom's like 23, 24. So they get together and they didn't have sex until they got married. So they held it down. They probably got freaky in some other way, but it wasn't just off the bat. They had to wait a minute. And so they got married, then they had my older sister, and then after that they had me. So me, a lot of times people say about me like I was a very like loving kid. I ate a lot. They said I was a light bright. They say so many things. I was very sweet. I was chunky when I was a baby. But something that really stuck with me was like my parents said that I had like a loving heart and very well connected with like the spirit world. Like I always know, like I would always be like, Mom, let's pray about it. Like, let's do this. Like I would always trust my gut over everything. And that's something that my dad and my mom really told me a lot, like growing up, that I always like trusted my gut. I always said it was on my mind and it always made sense. I just remember like when my parents were together, it being like the most beautiful time in my life because they were so beautiful together and they were so happy together and like they balanced each other out so well. But I guess like when you're so I don't know. I really don't know how to explain it. I guess like the reason why they're not together now, I guess it really had to do with just them like getting over who they are and realizing that they needed to work with each other to make their relationship the way it wanted to be. And you know, I think a divorce or anything is always on two people. It's never on one person. I mean, because you could do somebody wrong and you could stay with them. I mean, but at the end of the day, you know, society says that's wrong, and it is wrong. But I'm just saying, like, some people stick through it. Some couples or married couples still stay through it. You know, no matter what, they just hold it down. So I think at the end of the day, it's just like two people making a decision to separate, and then that's what happened. And let me tell you, man, before this divorce, we was rocking it out. You know, like my dad always had all the cars. We had a beautiful home, always like doing fun stuff. And then like all of a sudden, man, before the divorce, things started happening, man. Like cars started getting repoed. Like I would wake up in the middle of the night and I would hear this like tow truck. And I'm like, why is there a tow truck outside? What is that sound? And it happened to be that one of the Mercedes my dad got, he just didn't pay it off and they was taking it back. And that kept happening to every car that was in the lot. And then all of a sudden we had like one car or just two cars. And then it just like, it was just crazy like seeing that change right before the divorce happened. And it had a huge effect on me because I didn't realize like this divorce happening right in front of my eyes is literally gonna determine a lot, you know, in my relationships and just in my manhood growing up. So it's just crazy, like just seeing like bills, lights turned off, you know, all this right before the divorce. Just so many things happening. And then I think I had to just fall on like what I learned growing up, and that was just like, you know, pray about it. And that's what I would do. I just pray about it, even as like I don't know how old I was. But I was just, honestly, I was hurt. Like I was hurt that my parents were gonna be getting a divorce. When they had like said it, it just kind of hurt me. And I just still to this day, I always think about what if they never got a divorce, because my parents are still hella cool with each other. Like they still talk and they still laugh and they're very cordial. They could still be around each other. So it's just like that moment, like those moments before the actual divorce happened were just crazy. So I remember having to switch schools, and what happened was we had a nice house. We were living in like San Gabriel. We had a really nice house, and we had to move out. And where we moved, so my dad had to go somewhere and then my mom had to go somewhere. So for a little bit, we had stayed with my aunt. Imagine my mom and dad had 4 kids. So all 4 kids went with my mom. So we had to stay, we went to first when they first got a divorce, we stayed at an extended stay hotel. And we stayed there. Basically, we were homeless. We had nowhere to go. So we stayed there for 4 days, not even 4 days, maybe more. And we just stayed there. And I remember it being so hard because there's only like 1 bed and 1 restroom. And we didn't know how we were going to get food because we just didn't know how. And just struggling, trying to figure out like what we were going to do next. And I could see my mom like trying to figure out what we can do and stuff like that. And we didn't even pay for the hotel. My aunt did. My aunt paid for the hotel for us. And it was just bad. It was just the worst feeling ever. I had my Xbox and I remember just going to the lobby just to play Madden. I used to go play Madden on the Xbox. And I would just play it for hours, just trying to forget about everything that's going on. And I guess I'm shaking my head because I'm shocked. Like I always shake my head when I'm shocked by something. And I just play for hours, just sitting in the lobby playing for hours. And then after that, we went to my aunt's house. I think it might have been my aunt's house, my auntie Karen's house, and we stayed with her. She had 2 bedrooms, and her boys were in another bedroom. So I had to stay with them in their room, and then everybody else slept on the floor in the living room. And that was a struggle too, because we still had to go to school. And I remember people asking me like, where are you staying? I'm like, oh, I'm staying with my aunt. And it was just like, my mom did a very good job on making it not seem like a struggle because it was hard. And then my dad, he would pick us up occasionally and we would do stuff. Actually, very frequently we would do stuff, but it still never like covered the fact that we were not with him consistently. It just wasn't a good feeling. And I could be telling it wrong, but yeah, it just didn't feel like he was there all the time. So we got closer to my mom, and then we had moved, later we had moved in with her dad, my grandpa. We moved in with him in Pasadena, moved back to Pasadena, or we were still in Pasadena, but we moved like, you know, a couple blocks down because her dad lived in that city. And we stayed there. And I remember it being like 3 bedrooms, but all four of my siblings shared 1 bedroom. We had a bunk bed, and then my little brother, he used to sleep with my mom. But I remember we would watch Ratatouille every night because that's something that made us happy. Whenever I got to play the game, I would, because we had 1 TV. I would just try to make the best out of that situation. And, you know, going to school out there, I met so many cool people, but it was just like, I came from a really suburban ass city to go into a ghetto. Well, I'm not gonna say ghetto. It was hood, but it's where I grew up. But it was hood, and I wasn't used to it because I had switched cities so fast after being, you know, some of my like younger days. I was living in like more suburban city, you know, and it's just crazy to think that. That I had been. I would have never thought I would have been moving back. You know what I mean? Like I never thought I would be moving back to that place. So, anyways, I'm going to school there, roughing it out. It's 7th grade, because 6th grade my parents had like, basically they came in to, when we were living at my grandpa's house, and my dad came in. He had stopped by, and he had came in. I don't even know if he was living with us. I don't know what was going on. I don't think anything was final. They just kind of like went separate ways, and then my dad had just came back to my grandpa's house when we were there, and then they had said, all right guys, so you guys are gonna have to switch schools. And mind you, I was like, switching schools, I'm just getting used to my friends. I just played basketball. It was like I was enjoying myself, but they were like, yeah, you have to switch schools. You're gonna go to a school right up the street here. So we go to this school. We start going to this school. I'm telling you, first day of school, riots, fights. Honestly, it was the craziest thing. It was the craziest thing because I thought that only happened in movies. People was getting beat up. Females was fighting every day in class. Like students was cussing out the teachers and all of that. And I think, honestly, that had a huge effect on me because I started acting up in class too. I started being that class clown because, I don't know, that's what I was used to. I was used to that as being like the normal in school. So when after I had left, right after 6th, 7th grade at that school, I only stayed there for 1 month at Elliott. 1 month at that, 1 grade year at that school, 7th grade. And I went to another city. But that whole time there was so different from anything I ever experienced. It was just so crazy. I used to stay in the library because I didn't want people asking me like, oh man, you gonna hop in this riot today? You gonna be in this riot? I didn't want to hear that. So after that, I met really cool people there, like my boy Nick. Man, like my boy Nick, bro, that's my boy. That's crazy because we really grew up there together. I would go to his house all the time. I remember we used to, man, we would always send each other like the best adult entertainment stars. I'm not about to say a word. Adult entertainment stars. We would send them to each other like, you check out this one. I remember one time he came over and then he was like going home like the next day. So I was like showing him all these adult entertainment stars. You know, we young. We was watching. You know, everybody was doing it. So yeah. So he went home and I was on AIM. If you remember AIM at the time, man, there's so much backstory. So you remember AIM at the time. AIM was popping. You could see anything on AIM. So I sent him like, I was like, hey bro, you need to watch this video. I was like, you need to watch her, this adult entertainer. She's fire. And it was on his computer. And his mom walked in. And she still loves me to this day, but his mom walked in and she saw it. And you know what she did? She told my dad that I was watching adult entertainment. So I'm going home. You know, on the way home, my dad says, so Nick's mom told me that you were watching adult entertainment, and do I need to take your phone away? I'm like, nah, Dad. I'm like, nah, I didn't know what to say. I was sick. But I was like, at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? I've been watching it frequently, Pops, frequently. But yeah, but Nick was honestly my boy. Like we would be playing basketball together. We would be just doing everything together, everything. And then when I moved schools, he was still close to me. I introduced him to some of my friends over here, and I would have him come play basketball, with me and stuff. But man, after that, like that was probably what really introduced Nick to me, because you have those standout moments with friends where they really show that they're your friend and they could be your friend for a long time. I think that period of time really helped me, because Nick was always there for me. Like whenever I needed to talk to somebody, whenever I had girl problems, whatever, he was just there. But it's crazy because like after that, we kind of like, I went off for years, like out, like where I am now. I was going to school out here and stuff. And I just kind of like distanced myself from him, because when I was single, it was just like a lot of stuff. Like honestly, I just felt like we weren't as close as we used to be. He was doing his thing, and he sometimes had a girlfriend and I didn't. It just didn't click. All Nick's girlfriends was honestly like, they was honestly always afraid of me.
J-Tuck, bro.
Hey, the homie, low key.
Hey, yo, this nigga finna get a scholar, bro. I'm finna get a scholar, bro. We finna have all your hosts, nigga. But this is my girl.
Coming around, because they knew that I would have girls around, and it was just, Nick would be like, I can't hang out with you, bro. My girl is not happy with that. I remember we would go out, and this is my friend before Clyde. Like, you guys know Clyde, or some of you know Clyde. This is my friend before Clyde. And Nick and we would go out. We would be on some crazy stuff, man. Even before Nick, my boy Rudy, oh my gosh, bro. We have so many crazy stories. It's just, I don't even know how to share that crazy story. Man, all right, I will. So me and Rudy went out. Okay, so I just talked about 7th grade. So now this is going to 8th grade. So Nick was my friend. Nick was one of my first best friends. Yes, he was one of my first best friends. But then when I went to Santa Fe, 8th grade, out here, me and Rudy was on some different stuff. Rudy was Hispanic. I'm African American, light skin. He was a good looking Hispanic dude. Still is. He's still good looking. But at the time, man, everybody, we was pulling them all in. I remember 8th grade, I came to the school. They was on me. Like, they was like, what's the deal? Who's this light skin? I had them lining up. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But Rudy was like, low key, he was checking me. He was trying to see like, who is this dude? Why is he getting all these girls? I was already like 6'2", 6'1" in 8th grade. He was like 5 something. He was like, man, it's because he's tall with you, blah blah blah. Like, he used to say like, oh, if you didn't have colored eyes, you would get no girls. I'd be like, okay. But like, he was on me. Everybody was. And basically what happened between us, we played basketball, and he had no choice, but he had to show love, because I was killing that basketball. All the girls was on me in 8th grade. I had them all, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. He had his too, but the thing is, he didn't have no game. So we would go to his house, right? We'd be chilling at his house. He'd be like, bro, what should I say to this female? And me, I got a mouthpiece. So I was like, bro, say this and that with you. I used to really text girls for him. Like, that's how close we were. We would just hang out. He would tell me how to dress. I would tell him how to talk to girls. We would just go back and forth off each other. And like, that period of time was lit, because we were going to go to 9th grade the next year. And man, 9th grade was crazy. I can't tell those stories on here. I can't do that. Leading up to like maybe senior year, I'm gonna just skip to senior year. I wasn't friends with Rudy, really no more. Nick, I would talk to occasionally. But I just honestly, like, I didn't really have a best friend. I didn't have somebody that was linking with all the time. It was always just like me. And I was in another relationship, and honestly just became like just like, I don't know, just by myself most of the time. I just became that person who wanted to be solo dolo, but I had a girl. But the person I was with, I think I was so into, like, growing up, I was so into the girls I would be talking to that I would lose sight of who I am, and it kind of distanced me from my friends. And I don't regret it, but I just think I could look back on it and just realize that's why I have to have my friends around me, so they just keep me humble and they keep me grounded. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, senior year was dope. I mean, honestly, I just pushed through that. Senior year wasn't even, I didn't get bullied. It wasn't like I didn't have nothing, no crazy stories. It was just, honestly, I just went through high school. It was just, I went through it. But after high school, I went to college, and I wasn't even gonna graduate high school, so I don't know how I went to college. I'm not even gonna lie to you. If your grades is terrible right now, you good, cause I had like a 1.8, and I had to figure out how I'm gonna graduate. But I did it, and I went to college, this school. Like, I would literally look for schools that didn't ask for, I never took the SATs, never took them, but I got into a college, a 4-year university with like a credible degree system. Like, you could get a master's and really get a master's there. And I went to that school. It's called New Mexico Highlands University. I went there for like maybe a year and like some months, because it was in Las Vegas, New Mexico. Who the hell lives there? Who will go there? I don't even know why I went there. But one of my friends from high school, one of my friends from high school told me about that school and said, you should come out here. They don't ask for no SATs. They don't ask for anything, just your transcripts, and they'll still accept you. So I submit my transcripts. They accept me. I just have to pay tuition. So I go out there and I'm roughing it out. It was cool, but it was just different. It snowed. I'm not the type to be in snow. And it was just different. It just didn't work out for me. And I left there probably, like I said, a year and some months. And I met some cool people there. I met some really cool people. I guess I was just different because I don't know, from being from California, and it just felt like I didn't fit in. So basically, after that, came back home. I went to PCC. I played basketball, and I hooped there for a little bit. But basketball, it is so much politics, and that's the reason why I'm about to tell y'all the next big part, like just everything. I didn't play basketball for a minute. I didn't play at the college I went to. So when I went to this community college, I didn't even know I would be starting. I was starting. I met some cool people. Just everybody was hella cool, man. And I really appreciate everybody in my life, because the way I went about things in college, I was just so into myself that I didn't even think about others. So I also want to take this time to apologize to every homie I had, every homegirl I had that I just don't speak to anymore. And I just want to apologize, because I was just trying to get out. Like, I seen a lot of people having too much close time, too much conversation, wasn't grinding. So that's why I was like, I'm trying to get in and get out. I had that mentality, but I was too hard on myself. So I just want to apologize for anybody I may have hurt. But yeah, so it's like basically after that, like, I was playing basketball and I had one more year to play, but I was like, nah, I don't even want to do this no more. So took a break from school a little bit, then I went back to school. But the new semester started and I just wasn't feeling school. I had just started talking to Kayla, and we started YouTube. We were traveling. We were doing all these crazy things. And let me go back. I was working on that break. I took a break from going to school. I started working again. So I was working, and I was talking to Kayla. I just started talking to Kayla. I remember sneaking my phone in the desk. Like, I was working at California Peace Kid, and I sneaked the phone in the desk. I started talking to Kayla, and you guys pretty much know the story about that. But yeah, I was just trying to figure things out. So after I met Kayla and I was still working, we had started a YouTube channel, and then I had told my parents, like, you know what, I don't want to go back to school. I had started school, but I had set them down and I said, I'm done with school. I'm about to start YouTube. And they weren't feeling that. They was like, you about to drop out of school to do YouTube? They was like, nah, hell nah. So I had to tell them, you know what, it's not even about what y'all want to do, it's about what I want to do. And you guys are gonna die one day, and I'm still gonna be trying to please you to get this degree to make y'all happy. And y'all not even gonna be working. Y'all gonna be in a grave. So why am I gonna go to please y'all? I mean, your opinions and your love means everything to me. I just need your support. And that's what I told them. And I actually made a video about that on our channel, and I think it's still there. But I'm just telling y'all, like, my life wasn't perfect. I went through so many things, and I have so many stories and just so many like little things that made me into the person I am today. Even almost just giving up. Like, I just didn't want to do anything. Life sucked, I just didn't want to live. I didn't want to do anything. And it was just because like the impact my family had on me, and just girls, and just every little thing that just impacted me, you know. It almost broke me, but you know what, I never gave up. Even when I had to, man, I had to walk all the way home from places because my dad would say he's picking me up, but he wasn't, you know. He wasn't ever gonna come. He was just busy, you know. And just even moments like that, you know, just, that's why I care about my family so much, because I want to work on that. I want to be that family man that we need, you know. I want to supply for them and be there for them, like, you know, like any son or brother should, you know. And I just want to let y'all know, like I said before, it's just everybody has a story. Never give up. Continue to strive, and always trust your gut. You know, I always thank God, because without him, I would not be where I am. I would not be where I am. And a lot of things that I have now is because I prayed about it, I manifested it, and I just never gave up. So it's like all the negative comments, they're just motivation. All the positive comments, just motivation. Everything is motivation. You know, I just take it and I run with it. So I love you guys, and you know, I'm gonna just end the video right here, because honestly, I don't really have much else to say. But I mean, that's a little bit about me, and I know I could have talked about more. I missed some points, but I just wanted to give y'all like my truth, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Give us a thumbs up, and I love you guys.